make these delicious Cheerios, you'll be needing half cup of whole milk and half cup of water and 1 stick of butter. You want to stir the butter until the butter is completely melted and is incorporated with the milk. After your butter is completely melted, add in 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Then mix everything together until everything's nicely combined and let your mixture boil. That's when you know it's ready. After your mixture starts to boil, add in 1 cup of all-purpose flour and put it to a side. Because if your stove's still on, you might get a really lumpy dough. Everything is nicely stirred. Put it back onto the stove and toss it for 5 minutes until you don't smell the raw all-purpose flour anymore. Our dough is ready. So you can see that my dough is forming into this really nice, smooth chunk. That's when you know that your dough is ready. So I'm gonna transfer this into a different bowl and then we're gonna get started. The dough is transferred into a different bowl. I'm using a hand blender to blend my dough. I'm doing this so then my dough has enough time to cool down, because you don't want to add eggs into a hot dough because that melts down the texture. So I'm going to be adding 4 large eggs one at a time. We do that so our dough gets adjusted and everything incorporates really nicely. So my batter is ready. So it's supposed to be sticky and thick and creamy, exactly like this. So for the cinnamon sugar, I have half cup of sugar and I'm adding around 3 tablespoons of cinnamon powder. You guys can use how much cinnamon you really want, depending on the taste. So blend everything together until it's a fine powder. So we're going to transfer our batter into a piping bag. I'm using a K29 tip. You guys can use a large tip, a thick tip to pipe out our Cheerios. So I'm ready to make some Cheerios. So my oil is at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. That's when I'm going to pipe out my Cheerios. I'm going to add one at a time. I'm trying to make them long. You guys can make them any shape you want. I'm just playing with my shape because I'm not an expert at this anyway. So I'm going to try to make really cool shapes. Look how beautiful they look. Like not even one single one looks identical to the other one. Perfection. After you know that one side is cooked and it's golden brown, switch the sides. So you want to do this so every single Cheerio, every single side is cooked into the inside and is perfectly cooked and crispy and soft. So you want this really dark brownish, goldenish color. That's when you know your Cheerios are ready. My Cheerios have changed color. That's when I know that my Cheerios are done. So I'm transferring this into a plate with a paper towel on it so it absorbs all the oils. Our Cheerios are not too oily. So you want to do the same process and over until your dough or batter is over. So I'm trying to make a big swirl. Let's see what it actually turns out to be. Because I told you, right? You guys can experiment with the shape because they will still taste the same. The taste will not change. Just the shape will change. So whatever shape you make, the Cheerios have to be golden brown. That's when you know it's done. Because having a golden brown color is that you're going to have this crispy texture on the outside and a soft texture inside. So, as I said, this is my cinnamon sugar. It's right out of the blender. It's a fine powder. You want to dip the powder into the Cheerios when the Cheerios are still warm, because that's when you know the Cheerios are just gonna hold on to the juicy, tasty sugar, and they're gonna be awesome. Because when it's hot, the sugar is gonna melt onto the Cheerios, and you're gonna end up with this really nice, sweet Cheerios. My Cheerios are done. They are beautiful looking and they're tasting awesome. I definitely recommend you guys trying this recipe out, and it's awesome, so why not?